I've said it, I'm going to keep saying it. Immigrants have been taking an unfair beating in this country. And not even just the ones who come the right way, but not all people who enter this country illegally are the same. And we are playing a dangerous game with what we're about and what we're not about. But this friend of mine, who doesn't like when I call her that, but she sent me a clip of a guy who is the counter-narrative and a reminder of what immigrants are really about and what they've really done and meant to this country. So this was an Instagram clip, and it was decades. This guy's spent decades thanking the country for what it has given him in a way that almost none of us would do. Take a look. Right? Video's a few years old. Since then, the number of kids fostered by Peter Mutabazi has grown to nearly 50, and he's adopted 3. He went from having nothing as a kid to giving children everything that he has. And if you noticed in Peter's own narrative, there was a stranger who made all the difference to him. And maybe that is why he has decided to be so familiar to so many. And he joins us now. Pete, what an honor to meet you, and thank you so much for being the example that you are to people in this country about what people who are immigrants are about.
Well, Chris, thank you for having me here. Truly a joy to join you this evening.
Peter, when you talk about the stranger who you came upon when you were out trying to find your way on your own, what do you want to tell us about that person and what you think motivated them to put you in school instead of in jail?
Well, absolutely. You know, as street kids, we had to survive by stealing, you know? So I followed him because he had bought food and I wanted to steal from him. And he did something really unique that nobody had ever done. He said, "Hey, what's your name?" You know, he didn't say, "Go away." He didn't say, "You thief." He just said, "What's your name?" And that rattled me because no one human being had ever called me or asked me what my name was. And that was really unique. And he fed me. And one day he said, "Hey, if you had an political school, would you love to go to school?" And I said, "No, I don't want to go to school," because I didn't feel I was worthy. I'd been treated like an animal. You know, my dad said I would never amount to anything, and I believe that. But this man saw the best in me when nobody saw that to me, and that's really what inspired me to go to school.
So you wound up moving here at the age of 27. You started fostering kids at the age of 40. That's young. What made you, as a single guy, decide to start fostering kids? Do you remember a moment that was directional for you?
Yes. You know, I think for me, when I had the number of children in foster care, and I thought, you know, I'm an American now, like I have to do something, you know, I have to give back, but also that I had to treat others just like that stranger saw the best in me. He didn't see the behavior. He didn't see the bad childhood family I came from, but he saw a little boy with potential. And I wanted to do the same for kids in foster care. You know, just hearing the number and knowing there are kids in our neighborhood that have no place to sleep or nothing to eat, I could not just look the other way. So I decided, I said, you know what, I'm going to step up and do the best I can just to do just like someone did for me.
So did you go into it thinking each one help one? Or did you go into it saying, I'm going to just get as many kids as I can and how do you afford it?
Well, as a single dad, I didn't know they would allow me to be a foster parent because I had never seen a single dad who was doing so. And I had traveled over the world and never seen a Black person who was adopting. So I thought I am disqualified by just where I come from and what I looked like. But little did I know that this, you know, the social worker who received me, I said, I can mentor. He said, have you ever thought of being a foster dad? I was like, I'm not sure I'm qualified. And she said, why? I said, I'm single. She said, no, you can be. So for me, I signed up to foster foster one child. That's what I thought they allowed me, but also that's what I thought how far I could go. Little did I know that truly I would have as many as almost 50 that have come through my family.
And you've adopted 3. What have you seen in what makes the difference with these kids in terms of the outcomes?
Look, no child is born and decides to be in foster care. Sometimes they come in through the horror that has come, gone through their family. And for me, the best that I've done is to create a space. My job is not take away their trauma, but create a space where they feel they can thrive, where they feel they can overcome what they've gone through, but also where they feel they're seen, heard, and loved in some way. And that's what I offer to my, to every child who comes to my home, but also to try to really help the bio parents. It's easy to see them as villains, but for me, I get to see them as parents, sometimes who have no resource or no one has come alongside to say, how can we help? You're struggling, or you're suffering through drugs, and how do we give you resource to overcome that so you can have your children? And I thought I can be the bridge between providing a safe place for the children, but also really advocating for their parents as well.
Peter, it's beautiful. You are what I call an American, as opposed to an Americant, somebody who is trying to show the positive potential of this country. And it matters to me that you're an immigrant, because people see immigrants these days as just takers. And you are given back many times over. So thank you very much for being the example you are. If there's anything I can do to help you do the work you're doing, I'm a call away.
Please. I need to take in 2 more kids. So if you find an SUV that can take 9, give me a call. Please give me a call.
Done. I'll call you right after the show. Peter Mutabazi, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me here.
He's trying to raise money so he can keep fostering kids and be this bridge, which I think is probably the most beautiful part about it, is that he's actively trying to reconnect parents and kids. So GoFundMe page is there, listed as Give Foster Kids a Room to Call Their Own. That's what you type in. You'll find the information right there. It's so easy to focus on proof of perfidy and how things are bad. Dusty told me in the break that we already have over 30 donations to Peter. And they're not, now it's over 50 donations, Dusty says. People are good. People care. There's more that joins people in terms of common concern and decency and what they want than what is being used to divide us. And you can blame me for it if you want, but I'm telling you, I wouldn't do the job and I wouldn't be here if what I was trying to do is make advantage off the division. And I'll tell you what, I'm gonna give Pete 10 grand for his fund. Will you match me? If you do, get yourself to New York, we'll go to dinner.